Let's see if we are live. Just want to check if I'm live right now. Yeah, I think I'm live. I think am I though? Just checking. Okay. Looks like I'm live. Cool. Hey folks, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Saurabh Pol. Welcome to Pol Ke Bol. Folks, today I'm going to talk about the Indian IT industry. It's in a bit of a bother, and this is a topic which I have spoken about before, but today is it's even more timely because TCS has said that it is firing 12,000 folks in total in FY26. They haven't really fired people as of now. They've started the process according to news reports and their own, statements that they have made. The reality is the most striking part about this is that it is 2% of the entire global workforce. That's quite a huge number. It's a small number percentage wise, but if you see if TCS is going to remove 12,000 people, can you imagine what the others are going to do, right? So, TCS is the biggest IT company in India and one of the biggest IT companies in the world. So, whatever they do really matters, right? Having said that, the key thing which a lot of people are missing out on is that they said this is not happening because of AI. For once, not everything is about AI. So, so please understand this is there is a reason this is happening. One of the biggest reasons is there is a demand slowdown. Okay, the demand slowdown has been caused in part by AI, but also there is tariffs. There are global wars going on, and in general, a slowdown and a slump in consumption in a lot of ways. Right. The U.S. economy, while it is doing well, I think just today's reports were I think it grew quarter on quarter by 3.2%, but last quarter it was like -1% or something of that sort. So the US economy is doing well. US is important because it's majority of the revenue for most IT companies in India, US and Western Europe especially. But the reality is that the world economy is not really booming as of now, right? And companies, they are trying to be as efficient as possible. And one of the first budgets that get cut by companies when they are doing cost cutting is obviously the IT budget. And but this is what we have been hearing for decades, right? But still, these IT companies have thrived year on year. They've gone around hiring 500,000 people in some cases. In the case of TCS, I think it has like 550,000 or around almost 600,000 people on its payroll, right? So they have done really well for themselves. They hiring more people is actually good for them, unlike other companies, because they get their revenue from the people that they outsource. Yeah. So the outsourcing happens from foreign markets to India, and basically we share our labor over there. Essentially, like we work on the things which are considered back end process oriented, not really moving the needle in terms of revenue most of the time, right? It is like, hey, let's do a bit of cost cutting, let's streamline the operations, let's make the processes more foolproof, which is what Indian IT has been doing for decades, and it has worked out well so far. The introduction of AI has definitely caused challenges because now what the companies are doing is, yeah, instead of me going out to India and giving, or Vietnam or Philippines, why don't I just let AI do it? Why don't I just let automation do it? And all these terms like, AI, ML, automation, natural language processing, they have been using it for the last decade. But in the last couple of years, since ChatGPT's launch, since OpenAI, since Gemini, and so many other Anthropic and so other, big models that are coming up, AI models that are coming up, this use case is reality now. Now they are realizing कि ये जो हम बकबक कर रहे थे ना इतने सालों से, 10-15 साल से, ये अभी reality है. अभी हमको सच्ची में 10,000 लोगों की ज़रूरत नहीं, ये काम 2,000 लोगों में होगा. You get me? And I have been saying this, folks, to many of you, that the reality is that we, all companies in this world and all of us as individuals also, what used to take 8 hours is going to take 2 hours. What used to take 10,000 people is going to take 2,000 people. What happens to the rest 8,000 people? That is the reality. Will efficiency gains are real, but so are scope losses. When there is a loss of scope, there is a loss of jobs, which is exactly what has happened over here. While AI has not directly led to the loss of jobs, what is important is to understand that demand is not really there for IT companies, and it hasn't been there for the longest time. TCS has not only said that they're going to let go of 12,000 people, they've also said that they are kind of pausing any hikes this year, right? And you have to understand that this is not good news for India in general, because a huge portion um, of the Indian economy. The consumption is urban based, and urban folks are very much involved in the Indian IT industry, right? Like the growth of Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mysore, all of these cities, they have grown in the last 10, 15, 20 years majorly because of Indian IT. Pune, my goodness, Pune has grown completely because of Indian IT and a bit of automotive also, but the scale at which it has grown, it would have been impossible without Indian IT companies, right? And that consumption leads to our economy growing, right? So it is extremely important to remember that. By the way, tariffs and their uncertainty have also caused companies to be like, okay, we are not going to spend on IT as much as we thought we would in the past, or we had planned in the past, right? So this is something which I really wanted you folks to understand the full picture of what exactly is happening, right? So it is not just a TCS issue, it's an Indian IT issue, because what the Indian IT industry has had to offer does not really seem like a golden proposition as it looked 10 years ago, 20 years ago, right? Now, in the age of AI, they will have to get past the whole, मेरे पास ज़्यादा लोग हैं, मैं लोग बेचेगा, bum on seat model, which is it's literally called bum on seat model, which is like मैं ज़्यादा लोग उधर भेजेगा वो प्रोजेक्ट पे, मेरे को ज़्यादा पैसा मिलेगा, because you're billing per hour, per person, right? So keep that in mind. So lesser people for them means that, hey, we are not confident about our future, how the deals are going to come in, what will be the cost of the deal, and so on and so forth, right? So that is extremely important for you to understand. One thing which most people are ignoring, I don't know why, is that they are letting go of mid to senior level positions. Can do you understand that? Because, and this is happening globally, right? Not just in India. TCS is doing this across the globe, where they are like, hey, mid to senior level, if you cannot be reskilled, if you cannot be realigned, if you cannot be reassigned, we're going to let you go. And that is exactly what is happening. That's the crazy part. Do you understand that? These are people in their late 30s and late 40s and early 50s who are being let go. Okay, mostly जो आपका middle and senior middle होता है, that is late 30s, 40s and early 50s, right? Like वो जो एकदम late 50s वाला, they don't really bother with them. They're like कि more or less these people will be, be phased out very soon, and it leaves a bad taste in people's mouth when it's like, यार 3-4 साल बाकी था, तुम क्यों निकाल रहे हो लोगों को? So they won't really do it, in my opinion, right? But if you see, they have been very upfront saying it's not AI, it's lack of skill. It's a skill mismatch that they're looking at, and they are going for the managerial class, because what you don't understand, many of you, is that the Indian IT industry, like many other industries, there is a permanent middle management. ओके, वो कोई भी ऊपर आए जाए, कोई भी नीचे आए जाए, वो मिडिल मैनेजमेंट वैसे का वैसा ही रहता है. वो लोग वहाँ पे घर बसा लेते हैं, एंड दैट्स फाइन, बिकॉज दे have given a good 10-15 years of their lives to these companies, and now and sometimes it so happens that they are too senior to do technical stuff and too junior to to do strategic stuff. So you're neither doing strategy nor are you doing technical stuff. You're just doing man management. Now it works out well. Man management is fine. Generic skills are fine when you are, in good times. When things are going well, everything's fine and the company is growing. And dude, if you have 500,000 people working for you, how are you not supposed to have man managers? That itself becomes an important task, right? But now we have reached a point, frankly speaking, where across the world, I think there's that whole thing about, hey, we are going to cut the flab. We are not going to have man managers. As much as possible, we want individual contributors, right? And this is a lesson which I want each and every one of you to take, that no matter how senior you get, it is extremely important that you understand that you need to have some technical skills, some hard skills, so that when push comes to shove, you actually contribute to the company and you don't lose your job, frankly speaking, right? And in the age of AI, they are going to be like, use it and show us what you can do for us, because man management is not something which we want everyone to do. पहले अगर 100 लोग मैन मैनेजमेंट करते थे, अभी वो लोग सिर्फ 10-15 लोगों को मैन मैनेजर बनाएंगे. they'll be like कि बाकी सब अपना अपना संभाल लो, it's okay, we have new efficient systems to look into. And here's the thing about the Indian IT companies now, right? Their whole mentality is कि make us money or you're out. You know, either you become a billable resource, or you get a sales, or you become like a critical part of the sales process. These are the only three ways you can survive in that company. Okay, any company now, especially in Indian IT, they're like या तो तू billable बंदा बन के काम कर प्रोजेक्ट पे, या तो तू सेल्स कर, डायरेक्ट सेल्स कर, या फिर तू like sales process को improve कर and have a tangible impact on the sales process. You know कि you're like, oh, I forgot what they called, but solutioning team वगैरह बन जा कि उनके बिना सेल्स नहीं होगा. Legal team, उनके बिना सेल नहीं होगा. So unless you do that, or even, or like, see, the HR in an IT company is very different from an HR in other companies, because the HR in an Indian IT company is very much related to the revenue process, because the more people you hire, the more chances of billing them to a potential client increases, right? Also, you can be like, hey, there won't be any problems with delivery, we already have the people, right? So you can beat out the competition, because it's like, इन लोग के पास लोग नहीं है, मेरे पास है, मेरे पास 12,000 लोग बैठे हैं इधर. I'll get it done tomorrow. Your project will be on. Don't worry. You get me? That becomes a competitive advantage. So please understand the margins are will get lower. I personally feel, and when margins get lower, of course your salary growth is not going to be there. I and Okay, there are two things which most people don't understand about the IT industry, is that when they say, hey, we are going to hire freshers, we are going to hire freshers, सब लोग खुश हो जाता है. Please understand, why they want to hire freshers. Freshers are cheap. Freshers are cheap. Okay, जो काम आप किसी और से, एक्सपीरियंस बंदे से 12 लाख में करा रहे हो, आप फ्रेशर से 3.5 लाख में कराओगे, 2.5 लाख में कराओगे, राइट? And this is what they have done now. They're like mid-level, senior level, mid to senior level. If you cannot contribute, out. There is, matlab, you can remove one dude and who's earning 15 lakhs, and you can get 5 freshers in that amount. Here's the thing about freshers, they are dependent on you, and also freshers basically don't do chucha, and freshers can be put into any project, like जो बोला है वो करने का, and you are being billed. Basically आपका जो लेबर है उसको कन्वर्ट किया जा रहा है into work, and that work is being paid for essentially, right? Which is fine, which is normal, right? But जिस बंदे को पहले आपको इंटरनली 12 लाख देना पड़ रहा था, अभी आप उसको सिर्फ 3-3.5 लाख दे रहे हो, एंड क्वालिटी वगैरह वो थोड़ा मसाज करके दे मैनेज इट. दैट्स देयर efficiency, I would say. That is the credit which I will give IT companies, right? They're very good at ensuring that even freshers contribute very well, which is why they have been doing so well for the last 3-4 decades, right? Especially in the last 2.5 decades, Indian IT companies have done fantastically well. They've contributed so much to the Indian growth story, and I hope and pray they continue to do so. But I do not think this it's going to last long. Okay, where IT job में घुस गए, ऐसा बैठ गया, and trying to get some US wala, project, Western Europe project. It's not going to work out. Those days are gone. Because also, but here's the thing, right? You need to remember what Indian IT industry also has is something called as GCCs, which is called Global Capability Centers. All these companies who used to outsource it to these large Indian IT companies, they are essentially saying कि यार मैं खुद का IT back office डाल दूंगा, मैं तुमको क्यों दूं? करेक्ट. दे आर लाइक एनीवे आईटी ऑफिस तो लगेगा ही, तो मैं अपना खुद का ही लगा देता हूँ यहाँ पे. नाउ हियर्स द थिंग, राइट? सो ऑल दीज बिग कंपनीज, लाइक आई नो सो मेनी, I won't, I mean, you can name them like Samsung and so on and so forth, and so many others, all these IT companies, sorry, telecom companies from across the world, they are putting up their own GCCs, global capability centers. They're calling, some of them are calling them global innovation centers, and they're putting them up in Bangalore, they're putting them up in Hyderabad and other places, right? And they are attracting top talent from the Indian IT industry, and they are like कि आप आ जाओ हमारे लिए काम करो, right? And they know कि this has become a staple, and they are converting the back office from an operational lever to a strategic lever, because they are like इधर innovation अगर हुआ ना कुछ, तो अपने को finally कुछ profit मारने का chance मिलेगा in the market. So folks, remember, the days of just doing optimization is gone. Now is the time to build and grow. You get me? तो आप अगर ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट्स में हो जहाँ पे बस ऐसा बेसिक रेपिटेटिव वर्क हो रहा है, बी वेरी केयरफुल. across, right? It's not just the IT industry. Anything that you're doing in life, if there is something which is extremely repetitive, be very careful, because AI is here and it will take, if it won't bite you now, it will bite you 2 years down the line. So be very careful. Be very careful about it, right? And keep asking yourself every quarter, be a little paranoid. What am I doing? Is this really important? Am I valued over here? And so on and so forth, right? So this is very important for you to remember. And I personally feel there will be more companies that will be laying off people. The margins are not great. The demand is not there, and वो थोड़ा हो जाता है ऐसे टाइम पे, when the leader does it, the rest follow. I mean, and it's not even just Indian IT companies, right? Like you look at a Microsoft. Microsoft let go of 15,000 people today. I think the news came along. So that's like a huge number. There was anyway overhiring across the tech world since 2020. So this correction was long overdue. But even a single job loss is a bad thing, right? Like, because obviously our lives are hugely dependent on them, right? So anyway, those were my thoughts on what's happening. Please keep in mind, middle management is the one which is being targeted. If you stick around too long and you are just a man manager, a personnel manager, um, you need to be very careful about it, right? Because that is not how things are going to turn out for you. It's not going to turn out well, right? Revenue. Always ask yourself, am I contributing to revenue? बिकॉज़ वो बैठ के जो मलाई खा रहे हैं, पेट भर आ गया है, चिल मार रहे हैं, बेटा फर्नीचर जैसे बैठे कंपनी में, they are going to be out, because it's already happened in the tech world. It's going to happen in the IT world also, right? So just letting you know. And those were my thoughts on this whole IT layoffs, which have just started, if you ask me. You know, if you have any questions, folks, I see quite a few of you are live right now. Please, put your questions, any comments that you have in the chat. Visionary Insights is like, hi, Paul, good to see you after so long. Hello. I'm so sorry I have not been going live, folks. Been a bit busy at work, so sorry. Um, so I'll try to be better in terms of my regularity, and I will be. Um, there's one more thing, like people are like, okay, if the IT industry is not really going to be uh, the place to be at, what else are we supposed to do? See, you can't be a one trick pony. Our country needs to really invest in manufacturing. It has to be. We need to get into manufacturing. Factories are real. Industrialization is real. We Not everyone can work on a laptop. I'm sorry. That's in a country of 1.5 billion people. Not everyone in China works in front of laptops. They build their country on manufacturing. We try to do it with services. It's not scalable after a point of time. It has to be manufacturing in some parts. Anyway, I think today there was this news that around 55% of all the phones that are exported to the US come from India. So I think we are making strides over there. Although the quality of high quality phones are still being manufactured mainly from China and exported over there. Um, so yeah, I think we have to get into manufacturing. We have to let go of this optimization mindset. We have to get into that building mindset. We need to be more tech, less IT. That's what I personally feel, right? Like, build things which people want to use, rather than just hi, they are doing things which we don't want to do, because that is not going to be outsourced anymore. That is going to be executed by AI, right? Z5 is like, best option is to become Ola Uber driver. Uh, it's a horrible life. Also, if you look in the West, there is Waymo, there is Tesla, and even Uber is trying its own thing. Um, and they have driverless cars over there. And in the next 5 to 10 years, they are going to take over. I assure you that's what's going to happen, because they are very serious about their technological growth. I'm being very serious. Even that is not going to be safe anymore. So India में although नहीं होगा, India में they won't let them in. Like Nitin Gadkari himself said, like, we are not going to let driverless cars come in India, because अपना देश बहुत dependent है यार, बहुत लाखों drivers है. There are millions of drivers in India. That's not going to happen. The tech will even solve the typical Indian driving conditions and road conditions and all. We will not be able to solve the unemployment challenge. So we have to be very careful. Um, Lost Soul is like, isn't the IT layoff more due to overhiring rather than AI? It's both. It's both. In fact, TCS said it's not because of AI, and I agree with you, and I agree with them. There has been extreme overhiring, but what does overhiring correlate with? Underspending. There is less demand. Why is there less demand? Because of AI, for sure. And also, there are economic uncertainties, no doubt about it. But AI has indirectly contributed to this. And also, there is that element of people, middle मैनेजमेंट बिकमिंग अ टारगेट. मैंने एक वीडियो बनाया था पहले, मैंने बोला था कि लोग मिडिल मैनेजमेंट को निकाल रहे हैं, फेसबुक निकाल रहा है मिडिल मैनेजमेंट को, अमेजॉन निकाल रहा है मिडिल मैनेजमेंट को, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट निकाल रहा है मिडिल मैनेजमेंट को. It is going to happen. It is inevitable. It is inevitable. If you don't have direct contribution to either the product or the service or the sale process, you're out. That's the reality. That is the reality. Just remember that if there is one takeaway you want to take from this live, is the fact that you have to directly contribute, right? You have to have hard skills. That's the whole thing. Lost soul is like, here is a growing sector, BESS. What is that? I'm sorry, full form, please. Kabir Dhadalia is like, don't you think after studying for years and training yourself for a particular niche, now all of a sudden you have to go into manufacturing? Um, I agree with you, but there are so many people who got into IT. Yeah, लोग मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग करके आईटी में घुस गए थे, ठीक है. लोग सिविल इंजीनियरिंग करके आईटी मैनेजर बन गए, ठीक है. I get it, it's not the same, but yeah. And here's the thing though, right? If you are in a tier 4 city, can't even call it a city, a tier 4 town, a tier 3 town in India, what are you going to do? Sit at home, give UPSC, call it an academic break? No, you have to do something. आपको खड़े होके कुछ करना पड़ेगा. That is the whole thing. So it's not about a strategy, it is about you have to do it. So yeah, visionary insights are upgrading skills won't work as requirement of person will be reduced. अरे तो नहीं करेगा क्या upgrade तेरा skill? If the requirement is reduced, you want to be 2 out of the 10 people who survive, not 8 out of the 10 who are let go now. So you anyway have to upgrade your skills and then fight it out. Having said that, it could also mean that there are more competitors coming up. You get me? There are more competitors coming up because AI also reduces the barrier to entry. I'll keep on making these same points again and again, but remember that. But we don't know. पहले तो एक चीज होगा कि भाई the flap will be cut, and yes, overhiring has definitely happened. I've mentioned this on the call, in the video just now. Z5 is like, do you think once Trump goes away, this uncertainty will subside? Not at all. Not at all. This is not Trump. This is not Trump. Trump is obviously, part of it. Like, he takes decisions. He's the leader of the United States. But uncertainty, economic uncertainty will always be there because of wars and all. Na? Both the wars, like, they started during the Biden presidency. Again, like, it doesn't matter, right? Like, things can happen across the world. There are a lot of uncertainty का मतलब ही वही है that you don't know, right? So it's not about any particular precedent or something. Loss was like BES is like battery energy storage systems. बहुत niche हो गया ना उसमें भी. This is not mass hiring. उसमें mass hiring नहीं होने वाला. Mass hiring is possible only in services or manufacturing. BESS मतलब स्टोरेज सिस्टम विस्टम एकदम वो हाई लेवल का हो गया. Z5 is like, do you think freebies culture is destroying India? No, freebies culture anywhere is not a good thing. But the reality is that in India, you need it. And I'll tell you why. It stops revolutions from happening. In India, you give a freebie because आपको शांत करना है लोगों को. You have to do it. You can't provide them with jobs, right? A job is a hard thing. A freebie is like, at least you can take a loan from the future and give it. वही हो रहा है ना. So many of our states, they are in huge debt, and they are basically like कि हाँ ये योजना वो योजना, कि महीने का 1,500, महीने का 1,400, this and that. Why do they do that? Because they're like, जॉब तो हम दे नहीं पाएंगे, लोन लेके पैसे तो दे देंगे, you know. And when it comes to free food and ration, we anyway have surplus food, we are lucky, and that is being given away. The See, what is Narega scheme and all? Narega was started off during the Congress time, and the BJP government, when it came to power after UPA left, the NDA came along. उन्होंने भी बोला ये तो बेस्ट है, कंटिन्यू करते रहो, because they know that you know, outside urban India, there isn't any meaningful job creation, unfortunately. It is not solving. Unemployment is a huge, huge problem. It's a huge problem. So, freebies are a way to stop a revolution. They are also used as bribes, uh, during elections, but that's the reality. Z5 is asking, what 1500 to 2000 per month, what difference is making to anybody? See, that's the problem, right? You guys are so sheltered, so incredibly out of touch with reality. But it's okay. I mean, do you know how much is 1500 rupees to someone who's not able to make rent in Mumbai, who lives in a chawl? हाउ मच इज 2000 रुपीज टू अ विलेजर जिसके घर पे राशन का मतलब इशू हो रहा है, जिसको मतलब किसी को मतलब इट्स अ प्रॉब्लम. इट्स लाइक द गवर्नमेंट गिव्स यू फ्री फूड बट नॉट फॉर एवरीथिंग. इफ यू वांट टू बाय अ साइकिल, इफ यू वांट टू एक दीवार लगवानी है आपको यहाँ वहाँ, 1500 2000 रुपए, मतलब यू इट मैटर्स अ लॉट. जोड़ जोड़ के लोग करते हैं इस देश में. वी आर अ वेरी पुअर कंट्री, आई एम सॉरी. डोंट वॉच दो स्टूपिड व्हाट्सएप वीडियोस. डोंट वॉच दो स्टूपिड शॉर्ट्स ऑन यूट्यूब. मेरे वाले देखो. But I see so many of my, I won't name names. I know people in my personal life who keep sharing shorts with me. I'm like, bro, like फालतू कंटेंट देखना बंद करो. वी आर अ वेरी पुअर कंट्री. वी आर ट्राइंग टू गेट आउट ऑफ इट. 1500 2000 रुपए is a huge number for people outside of the metros, even within the metros. I don't want to talk about people who I know personally, but I know people personally. I won't name them. I won't even indicate who they are. They are like, this is very important for me. Because of this, I was able to pay my daughter's private school का fee. 1500 2000 रुपए बहुत होता है भाई. कहाँ हो तुम? ऐसे मत करो कभी. So anyway, nothing personal, but yeah. Um, Lost Soul is like, so it will not be upgrading skills. It will be revolutionizing your skills with addition of problem solving skills. Most people lack problem solving skills, and that is difficult to teach. I agree. That is a difficult one. So there is no easy way out of this. Uh, Amit Amito's Preet Singh is like, which MBA role is the safest right now? Sales, frankly speaking. Sales. um, the way I see it. Finance will always do well, no doubt about it, but sales, everyone will need to learn how to sell, by the way. The econ guy is like, although unrelated, but I want your guidance on this. Saurabh, I left MBA at IIM Udaipur for MS Quantitative Economics at Indian Statistical Institute. For my only deep love for statistics, econometrics, and analytics, I'm really determined to make a career in qualitative risk management, finalytic, and emerging data science roles in finance. But not having an MBA, will it kill my career or dream? I am confident in my skills. No, having an MBA for this field, MBA का उतना ये नहीं है. आपका Indian Statistical Institute will be good for you. It will take you some time to rise up the ladder. Some of your MBA friends will earn way more than you in the beginning, but over a period of time, I think you will out earn them on an average, right? So that's the thing. And if you're really passionate about something, you should go for it. But obviously, market value से आपको 20-25% कम मिलेगा to start off with, unless you're hired by a crazy company for a great role. So yeah. We have next question is by Lost Soul. Now about BESS, it includes a host of manufacturing industries for development like mining and metals, semiconductors, hardware, fabrication, even construction. So each has scope. Well, I hope so, but that is assuming the entire value chain is within this country, right? That is assuming the entire value chain is within this country. भाई हमारे यहाँ पे दिवाली आने वाली है 1-2 महीने में. वो तुम्हारे जो कंदिल भी होते हैं ना, वो चाइना से आते हैं. ठीक है. So let's be real over here. And and speaking of mining and metals and all of that, I hope there is more, um, private investment over there without anyone complaining about the usual stuff. Like, is our country the only country which has environmental problems? Like, uh, can we not genuinely build more forests in other areas? Okay, or green cover, and can we not do it? Like, why does everything have to end with a protest in this country? So, mining का आप बोल रहे हो, वो सब है. I don't know how easy it is to start any mining operation in India. It is very tough. That's the thing. Semiconductors, hardware, fabrication, and construction. बहुत मतलब थियोरेटिकल हो गया लॉस्ट सोल ये। कितना इम्प्लीमेंट होगा, मतलब आई होप इट हैपेंस। I don't know. Even right now, what manufacturing India is doing, majority of it is assembling, which is fine. You have to start somewhere, and over a period of time, it will get better and better and better. You know, but yeah, time है 10-15 साल है उसको. A is saying they are taking out the fat from TCS. I use some other words to convey the same, but you're absolutely right. That is exactly what is happening over there. There was overhiring, and they are now saying ki, like we don't have the demand uh, to fix this, and there are quite layoffs going on, by the way, in many companies. Okay, I'm aware of quite layoffs going out in other companies, many companies, and which is basically like खुद निकल लो नहीं तो हम निकाल लेंगे आपको types, right? So that is definitely going on. Any more questions, folks? I know it's midnight. Still 15, 16 of you are still live. That makes me feel good. And yeah, it's been a while since I went live. Um, we've been told that there is, 1st August onwards, we will have 15% tariffs on India by the US. But I think it will be solved. You know, I think it will be solved. It's a negotiation tactic, the way I see it. But yeah, having said that, I think if our tariffs are too high, maybe we should reduce them. More competition is good. We can't forever protect our domestic industry. We need more competition. Um, yeah, the econ guys like, thanks a lot, Saurabh. After working in the market, I can go for an MBA, right? There will be chance, right? I just didn't want to do an MBA as a fresher. बट आप इंडियन स्टैटिस्टिकल इंस्टीट्यूट भी तो ज्वाइन किए हो ना, वापस एमबीए क्यों करना है आपको? आप यार स्टॉप फॉलिंग इन लव विथ ऑल दीज डिग्रीज मैन. ओके, इफ यू वांट टू डू एन आईएसबी आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड, 1 साल का कोर्स है वो, बट एक बार आप घुस गए ना किसी चीज में, आप मास्टर्स कर लिया, हो गया, काम स्टार्ट करो, स्टार्ट वर्किंग गाइज. यू गाइज, आई डोंट नो व्हाई यू हैव दिस एटीट्यूड. वर्किंग इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. ये सब obviously educational institutes are extremely important, but if you get into the top institutes, then it really makes an impact. Otherwise, work is your only friend. Z5 is like, bro, China is way ahead in BSS so much that even Mahindra EVs are depending on them. See, that's what I said, right? Diwali mein kandil karo ya tumhare gaadi mein battery. You know, it's still China focused, right? But yeah, over a period of time, I think we will be able to offset it. And there will be there is that China plus one strategy. There will be a China plus one strategy which is already on, and I think we should benefit from it over a period of time, right? Hamim was like, did you do any case competitions in JVMS? Yeah, we did. In fact, I think there were a few of them where I was a campus winner. There were a few where we were like national runner-ups. A couple of them actually. A fourth place in another national competition that we had. So yeah, quite a few. Z5 is like, do you think integrated MBA for 5 years is a good option? I am not that sure, frankly. See, there are so many different types of MBAs, right? Like full time 2 years, full time 1 year, executive 1 year, part time 3 years, integrated 5 years. Um, Sometimes you just have to focus on, you know, okay, what is generic? मार्केट में क्या चल रहा है? अगर आप उस पर फोकस कर रहे हो तो ठीक है, बट 5 years integrated, I haven't really seen many people doing exceptionally well with it. I'm not looking down on it. I'm saying I'm not aware of someone being like, oh wow, fire MBA, fire integrated course, lovely. I'm not that sure. Hamim was like, can we have a session on your opinion on doing case comps? You should do case competitions. What the hell? वो session का गरज नहीं है, करो. You should do it, but don't spend your entire time doing just that. Right? So yeah. Folks, I will be live for another couple of minutes because I have to go to sleep. Once again, I'm sleeping after midnight. It's not good for me. Um, yeah. Any questions, any topics, let me know. Other than ACADS and case competitions, what else should I focus on during my MBA? Have I not made a video on this? I don't know. I've lost track. Other than ACADS and case competition, make friends. Make friends. It's extremely important that you make friends during your MBA because they are the ones that are going to help you. Your case competitions stop being useful the moment you're out of your MBA, frankly speaking. They help you improve your presentation skills, but more or less not so much. And then you have, your CAD stop mattering after a point of time. Shortlist छोड़ के वो भी mostly नहीं होता. And during your MBA, I would highly recommend learning from your professors and genuinely learning. By the way, CADs मतलब रट्टा मारना नहीं. I would say make the most or do internships. Do internships, even the offline projects and all. Time निकाल के and network like nobody's business. दोस्ती करो, network बढ़ाओ. Z5 is like any suggestions on preparation of group discussion. That's a separate topic altogether. Hamim is like, can I share case competition problem statements and you put down your thoughts on how you're looking at the problem? Absolutely not. I don't do these things. Lost Soul is like how to remain unbiased as an interviewer. Sometimes appearance bias comes. I faced it as an interviewer. Now, while interviewing, I'm also having that bias unknowingly. I didn't understand your question. How are you having a bias while interviewing? Uh, I've faced it as an interviewer or interviewee. So anyway, the point is let's not get into semantics. Um, Remain unbiased as an interviewer. Sometimes appearance bias comes. कहना क्या चाहते हो? If someone's good looking, you will hire them. You'll treat them better. That happens. People love it when you are more presentable. There is that. It happens. It's a very common thing. Don't let it happen. That's the thing. But yeah, it's your job when you're going for an interview to be as well presentable as possible, right? Like that's the most important part. Devashish Upreti is like pretty insightful session. Read something similar on the Daily Brief newsletter. Oh, thank you, Devashish. Please like, comments, and subscribe. Z5 is like, are you in touch with your school friends? I'm not, and I feel terrible. Of course, I'm in touch with my school friends. So many of them. I'm in touch with many childhood friends. So yeah, I'm lucky that way. And I have made it a point that all phases of my life, I'm in touch with at least some people, from there. And it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort. But there will be some people from a certain section of your life where you're like, I don't want to be friends with them. Fair enough. Don't, you know. But as much as possible, try and stay in touch with people. It helps. Hamim is like, I want to make a career in HR. Do you think going in a blue collar heavy industry would help me save my job, like construction, manufacturing? How are these two questions related? I don't understand. I want to make a career in HR, human resources. Do you think going in a blue collar heavy industry would help save my job, like construction, manufacturing, etc.? See, I have said this before, but if things are going to get more and more automated, do you really need HR? And the answer is yes, but you will need fewer HR. As simple as that. I mean, if you want to have a good career in HR, start with getting into a very good college for HR. That really helps. उसके बाद का you will have to take a call because within HR also there is a lot. There is employer branding, there is HRBP, there is talent acquisition. And कितना भी AI आ जाए ना, talent acquisition का human element नहीं जाने वाला. I personally feel because that's extremely important. Um, Visionary insights are like, are you in touch with your MBA friends? Of course. In fact, I my largest circle of friends is from my MBA. Lost Soul is like HR seems safe everywhere. Not really, but I get where you're coming from. Z5 is like at least TCS is giving severance pay and outplacement opportunity. Yeah, I mean they have to, na? They have to. By the way, outplacement, I don't know how effective it is. By the way, and giving severance, you have to, na? If you are being asked to let go, severance to is part of your contract. तो उसमें क्या है? Severance is part of your contract if you are being let go. Silent layoffs are the dangerous ones where they're like, you put down your papers, which means we don't have to pay you severance. That is the reality. That is the reality. So please understand how these things work, right, folks? I have no clue how I spent 41 minutes talking about this. But yeah, here we are. Just had a haircut today. I hope my hair grows, nicely in the next 1 week. I hate it when my hair is too long, but I also hate it when it's too short. So any other comments, folks? I think I'll drop off now. I think it's while it's been a while. I think this was a sobering topic. When I read that, I felt very bad. Please remember, please remember, these are real people who are going to lose their jobs, and we have to be very sensitive and sensible when talking about this, right? Um, because each person has someone depending on them, and these people who are in their late 30s and 40s and all, इनकी families होती है, right? Mostly. So they will also be impacted with this. So hopefully they all find jobs elsewhere, or succeed in whatever endeavor they are part of. And that's the note I want to end today's video on. But also, folks, please remember, the days of a bloated middle management are over, right? You have to contribute directly. So there's that. Hamim is like, how to look for offline campus other than job portals, LinkedIn connections don't reply. यार सब मैं बताऊँ तेरे को, ऑफलाइन कैंपस इंटर्नशिप तेरे को इंटर्नशाला वगैरह में मिलता है. मैंने ली थी 10-12 साल पहले. वहाँ पे जाके सर्च करो. वहाँ पे जाके ये सर्च करो. So Z5 is like, instead of layoff, can't they reduce the salary for some time? No, why? You're not contributing. What will I do by reducing your salary? You are They have deemed these people unassignable, unreskillable. It's in the statement, right? So to salary bada kam kar, they are like, you're not a good fit, sorry, bye. And that happens, by the way. You spend a lot of time doing non-technical things, you forget, you lose that edge. That's the reality. It's a You have to be very careful, right? You have to be very careful. So anyway, folks, this was me. Thank you so much. Please like, comment, and subscribe to Polke Bol. I hope you have been watching the interviews that I've been doing recently. There are more on the way, and the lives will go on with the interviews, the podcasts, right? So yeah. Thank you so much, folks.